Page 26, Harmony of the Angels. I'm not going to even attempt to say that other name in that foreign language. I only speak poor English. Common time, key of G major. This is simply a study on broken chords or arpeggios, and it's an extremely important one because it involves balancing out the hands, and this is something people struggle with for a long time until you get the hang of it. For instance, in the middle, or at the beginning, let's skip the middle. You're here, just first off, go slow and get the fingering and the chords. They're not hard. By the way, that's a quarter note. Hold that down as you play this. Play it all legato. Don't worry about slurs or nothing. Play it all legato. You're moving around. Just go through the whole thing very carefully. Make sure you understand the notes and all. The rhythm's not hard. It's a bunch of triplet eighth notes. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Ooh, right. The problem with this is to make that sound like one hand played it all. So that has to be, it has to flow. You have to feel this flow. It can't be one hand and then the other. It's got to flow as it just goes. You have to think of it more as the continuity of the motion, the whole thing as a whole. Just to think of the flowing on it, and this whole thing is that way. It's a good exercise, and I like this kind of an etude. It starts out soft. Now I disagree with their curved lines because it indicates slurs, and people many times they'll put in a separation between the slurs. That's inviting all kinds of errors. Don't. Just slur it all together. If you listen to it, you can hear the musical sentences. You can hear the phrases connected according to those. So all together. I just connected all that. I would prefer that than to chop this up with their slurs like this edition has marked. Now it says soft piano and armonioso, my Italian, sort of tune. To me, the armonioso doesn't mean anything. You just play this, you get in the mood, you hear it, and you can feel the mood of the piece, and that's what you're after. So just play it softly. On measure 3, there's a crescendo. It doesn't say how much to crescendo. I would not go up more than maybe medium soft. Stay down here. Soft again. Now on measure 7, some editions put in a swell here. Right there. Go up here. Then it comes back down. Feel it. If you don't feel a swell, don't put it in. Otherwise, it's there. And here, try and connect that in the left hand. Then going on past the repeats, you're starting this soft. You're going to crescendo up, probably around a medium loud, but take your time. There's no hurry in the crescendo. There, that's where I'm about medium loud. And then I'm starting at measure 13, look out. Connect this left hand, watch this fingering carefully. We need the thumb on the C. I don't care what other fingers you use, get the thumb on the C. tend to come down at the end, but maybe you want to stay at that. 'Cause on measure 14, they have this edition has a sforzando there where you're swelled up. Right there is where you want to be. And then maybe you come back down, maybe you don't. I mean, you don't have to play the piece exactly the same all the time, so experiment. Down here around measure 15 and 16 along in there, maybe you come back down, or maybe you stay up, stay loud. And it loud. Whichever, experiment with both ways or how you feel. But on measure 17, we're soft like we were at the beginning. See, a lot of times when they're changing one musical theme to another, like down here at the bottom you had this. Well, at the beginning you had this. They're two different things. So when you finish this one musical theme down on measure 13 here, and you're finishing it, and you're going back to this theme, one of the ways to make that contrast work is to change the dynamics. So maybe you want to finish measure 16 loud, and then the soft here helps to bring out the contrast. Let's go down to measure 26. This is the measure after the first and second ending. So it's after the second ending, I should say. So you're here. Now these are finger pedaled. So in the left hand, you're going to hold them down. You see that? And then you can lift them up and then do it again. Now lift them up when you come down at the end. And this is a quarter note again. This measure 29, and then measure 30 you have that dim e poco ritnudo thingy again to get softer and slow down. It doesn't say how much to slow down. You have to get to know the piece and what does it feel like. This poco slow down means a little slow down, which means don't get carried away with the slow down. And then più lento is with slowness, sort of. So slow, loud, sforzando, linger, and then soft, and the F sharp's a half note, hold it down, and then here, and connect this with the hand. That's fine. So it ends slow and softly. Now this is a piece you might use a little pedal on. Now in the past, I don't think I've used pedal on much of any of these etudes. I really prefer not to use pedal if I can help it. I want to hear everything clearly. And when you first learn this piece, of course, you learn it without pedal. Anything you learn it without pedal first. Make the fingers do the work. But there's some fingering or some pedaling styles we can play around with here. So let's talk a little bit about pedal. I could, if I wanted to, legato pedal pretty much the whole thing. And if I do that, this is sort of what it would sound like. Sort of. Change it with a harmony, basically. Or I can take the pedal off of the last beat of each measure. Since the right hand has that quarter note, I can release the pedal and release all that extra sound at the end of each of these measures. Now, like measure 3, you pedal that normal, but here. So forth. You experiment with the sound and you figure out what you enjoy hearing, the sound you're after. You don't have to pedal at all. Now, if you do decide to legato pedal this first note in each measure, you're going to have to hold down your finger pedal that just a little longer. You got to finger pedal it until you catch it with the pedal. Because if I play the note and then the pedal, I could lose the note. I take that chance of losing the note. See, I'm not pedaling quick enough to catch it. So I'm going to finger pedal those notes until I get the pedal down, because I want to keep the sound. It's kind of a standard way of fingering anyway. A lot of times where you'll finger pedal the main note or the bass note of something like that to keep it going, because sound is built from the bottom up, and so you want to hang on to that bass note as best you can. Now when you get to like measure 7 and 8, I like a clean sound, so I typically I will release I tend to release it around there and leave it down, and I'll pedal this part because I want to connect this. I'm using the pedal to help me, and then I'm not pedaling this, but I'm letting the sound clear out because I'm finishing it. So I'm getting rid of that stuff. Whether I repeat or not doesn't matter, same thing. And then when you go on, again, the legato pedal if you want, just change it with each harmony. And then when you get to 13, you can change it with the half notes if you want. It up on the B's. Again, we're finishing a sentence, we're finishing this part, I'm clearing the sound out here, and then we go back to what we were doing at the beginning, so forth. Now let's jump down to measure 26. In this, even though you're finger pedaling this, in my mind you could if you're going to do it with the fingers, why use the pedal? The problem is it's too much of a difference in sound from what we were doing, because I don't want this to be full. And then over here I don't want it to be dry, because without pedal it's a drier sound. So I'm going to keep the overtones going, and that means I have to use the pedal. Now measure 29. Here, you either don't pedal this, or if you do, you have to change with each triplet. You don't want a lot of overtones here. You're coming down and you're going to get softer and slower, so you got to get rid of the overtones. That means you got to change the pedal. And then at the end, this più lento, you legato pedal it, connect these. However, I don't connect the next to the last measure. I have a little silence there. I like a little silence in there. And then put the pedal down on the A to help you connect it to the chord, to connect everything together. There I'm using pedal to help me connect the chords. See, there's different reason for pedaling. Sometimes it's the overtones, sometimes it's the fullness of the sound, sometimes it's to help you because your fingers can't cover the notes, sometimes it's for the legato effect. So there's specific reasons for doing it. Don't just do it out of habit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Speed-wise, don't play it fast. It's on the fast side of the moderate range. You can play this slowly. It's a different mood. So experiment with different tempos and different dynamics. Discover for yourself the mood of the piece and how it can change. You change some little thing and it just changes it completely. Because you can keep these ideas in mind for other pieces you're playing.